Modern world. The world today is not what it was half a century ago. Ideas of good and bad are fast changing. Attitudes toward moral and immoral conduct are different. And the general outlook on men and things is also very different. We are living in an age of rush and speed. It is tension. Tension everywhere. If you stand at the corner of a busy street and scan the faces of the people hurrying feverishly by, you will notice that most of them are restless. They carry with them an atmosphere of stress. They are most pictures of rush and worry. Rarely will you find a picture of calm, content, and repose in any of these faces. Such is the modern world. The world of today is characterized by inordinate haste leading to quick decisions and imprudent actions. Some shout when they could speak in normal tones, and others talk excitedly at a forced pitch for long periods, and finish a conversation almost exhausted. Any kind of excitement is a stress, in the psychologist's sense of the word, and stress causes the speeding up of bodily processes. It is not seldom that a person driving a vehicle gets agitated on seeing the green color of the traffic lights giving place to amber. The anxious man regards even a minor event as if it were a crisis or a threat. As a result, man is worried and unhappy. Another feature of the modern world is its noisiness. Music has charms, they say. But today, even such music is not agreeable to many if there is no noise. Louder the noise, greater is the music to them. Those of us who live in big cities have no time to think of the noise. We are conditioned by it and accustomed to it. This noise, this stress, and strain have done much damage by way of ailments, heart disease, cancer, ulcers, nervous tension, and insomnia. Most of our illnesses are caused by psychological anxiety states, the nervous tension of modern life, economic distress, and emotional unrest. Nervous exhaustion in man is increasing with the speeding up of life, leading to delirious excitement. People often return home after work, showing signs of nervous exhaustion. As a consequence, man's concentration is weakened and mental and physical efficiency is lowered. Man becomes easily irritated and is quick to find fault and pick a quarrel. He becomes morbidly introspective and experiences aches and pains and suffers from hypertension and sleeplessness. These symptoms of nervous exhaustion clearly show that modern man's mind and body require rest. Rest of a high quality. Let us bear in mind that a certain aloofness, a withdrawing of the mind from sooziness of life, is a requisite to mental hygiene. Whenever you get an opportunity, try to be away from the town and engage yourself in quiet contemplation. Call it yoga, concentration, or meditation. Learn to observe the silence. Silence does so much good to us. It is quite wrong to imagine that they alone are powerful who are noisy, garrulous, and fussily busy. Silence is golden, and we must speak only if we can improve on silence. The greatest creative energy works in silence. Observing silence is important. We absolutely do that in our meditation. Thus in the Dharmapada Sutra, the Buddha taught, "Look upon the world as one would look upon a bubble, just as one would look upon a mirage. If a man thus looks down upon the world, the king of death does not see him. Suppose this world is like a brilliantly ornamented royal chariot. The foolish are immersed in it, but the wise do not attach to it. Whoever was formerly heedless and afterwards overcomes his sloth, such a person illuminates this world just like the moon. when freed from clouds. Whoever was formerly heedless, and afterwards does good deeds, such a person illuminates this world just like the moon, when freed from clouds. This work is so dark that only a few can see it clearly, like birds escaped from a net, but very few of them fly up straight. Old age, sickness, death. Prince Siddhartha's perception of the old age, sickness, and death happened when he was very young. One day, with the permission from the king, Prince Siddhartha and his attendants set out a tour around the capital city. However, after exiting the east gate not long, he saw a hunchback old man with white hair and bare shoulders. The man was limping along very feebly and looked pitiful, as if he could easily be blown away just by a slight gust of wind. The prince immediately dismounted from the elephant, walked to the old man, and spoke to him in a caring manner. It turned out that the old man was deaf, with not even one tooth in his mouth. He was lonely and unprovided, for because his children refused to support him. This aroused the prince's sympathy, who offered to support the old man through his old age. But the old man only asked the prince to help bring back his rejuvenation and longevity instead. Hearing this, the prince was speechless, sighed and instructed his attendants to return to the palace. A few days later, the prince and his attendants toured the west gate, even though the king already ordered the area to be cleaned, and the sick and the poor were not allowed to stay outdoors. But not long after they set out, the prince saw a sick man lying by the roadside on the verge of dying. He had a thin body and a bloated belly, and he was moaning. The prince asked one of his attendants, "Why would the man become like this?" The attendant dared not to conceal the truth. He replied, "This is a sick man. He catches illness because his body is in disorder. Whether rich or poor, noble or lower classes, all have the body that is subject to disease and pain." On hearing these words, the prince felt ill and disturbed. He gave the order to return to the palace. After returning to the palace, the prince was unhappy all day long. He was wondering why people would turn old and would contract diseases. With all the luxuries he had, he did not know how to alleviate the suffering of the masses and how to make them live in more comfort. The king was aware of the unhappiness of his son, but considered this a minor incident. He persuaded the prince to continue on another tour. This time he decreed that all the people of the kingdom should help avoid any unpleasant encounters. The king even ordered Devdatta to accompany the prince, as he believed Devdatta was excellent in archery and martial arts, which could help the prince muster more courage. Not long after setting out of the south gate, they accidentally came upon a funeral procession, which blocked the way of the prince's carriage. The men who walked in front looked sad, while all the women were crying miserably. The prince told Devdatta, "Let's return to the palace." Devdatta laughed at the prince for his being afraid of dead people and said, "The true coward prince," the prince thought. Although Devdatta laughed at others, no one in the world could stay alive forever. It is only a matter of time before he joins the procession of the dead. He was then in no mood to appreciate the scenery along the way, so he returned to the palace in total silence. In all these tours, the prince always set out in high spirits, but returned in a somber mood. Since then he remained silent and unhappy, despite the fact that his beautiful wife and his good son were always by his side. Images of the old, the sick, and the dead constantly haunted the mind of the prince. He thought that even his beautiful wife and baby son could not escape from the cycle of old age, sickness and death. In his mind, human life was illusionary and unreal, like images of flowers in the air, or the moon in the water. Another day, while in the royal garden, the prince observed the fish in the pond fighting among themselves for food, with the big fish eating the small, and the small fish eating the shrimps. This was the fight for survival among living creatures, with the strong preying on the weak. As for humans, they waged wars out of selfishness. The prince was contemplating on its origin and how to stop it. Wine, women, and songs could not arouse the interest of the prince, who was puzzled by the problems of old age, sickness, death, and impermanence. He wanted to seek out ways and means of emancipation from the sufferings of life. To him, this was the most important goal to achieve in human life. That was why the young prince left his beautiful wife, baby son, and the luxurious life to become a homeless mendicant.